All right, well, I just discovered a really great way to practice your sight reading. Actually, I've known about this for a while now. I just haven't made it public in videos. Actually, I did a few years ago. If you're familiar with sight reading and harmony, you know I'm the sight reading guy. I developed my own system of sight reading with a 5-tier system of 4-part hymns and chorales. It's a very effective system. And this system of sight reading that I developed in sight reading and harmony is one that develops your reading skills of vertical harmonies. So it adds on voices or parts in a vertical fashion, so you're able to read, not just one note at a time, but you can read 4 notes at a time, ideally, and be able to play that. Well, that's fine and good for vertical music, which you need to learn that. But what about so-called horizontal music? What about lines like that go on that don't really have necessarily harmonies? Like a 2-part invention or something like that. So I have an excellent document for you here. It is a document that looks like this, and you can print it out for free, just like the other one. So the other one, actually, I have all these notes, these pages scattered around. About a week ago, I made a video of alternate fingerings in Hanon, and I offered you this free PDF for alternate fingerings. I hope that you got that free PDF here, and am working on some of those. So I hope you picked up the PDF from my other video, and I hope you're working on the Hanon exercises with alternate fingerings. That's great. This is going to be included in my next book on Hanon. I'll tell you about that in a second. But now to the sight reading stuff here that I was mentioning. Some of you might be familiar with this book that I released in 2019 called The Well-Tempered Hanon. It takes the first 20 exercises in Hanon, part 1, and it transposes it to every single key, all the 24 major and minor keys. It's a lot of music, and it's a lot of notes, and it looks like this. So if you have great eyesight, or you could blow it up probably, or if you're a real piano nerd, you can really test your sight reading with this. But what I've done here is I've made it simpler. So you don't have to go in and read all these keys. It's just in C major and C minor. But let me explain how you read these. So this is what one of the examples looks like. It looks like just like the ones with the fingerings, but there's no fingerings on here. So what this is these are Hanon exercises. The first 20 exercises harmonize the way that Bach probably would have done that. And it is like so. Okay, so let's say you have a motif. You have, let's take number 7. Okay, Hanon number 7 goes like this. Okay, and then as many of you know, and all the piano teachers of course know already, when you get to the top, then he inverts the motif. So instead of going that, he does that, and then he comes down. That's a Bach technique. So Hanon, of course, learned that from Bach. And it's great. All of these motifs work really well going forwards and backwards, and even if you invert the motifs. Actually, Hanon made a couple mistakes, and I've corrected those mistakes too. So I think I'm the only book that corrects his mistakes. So, and I'll tell you about those later. Anyway, that's the basic format for Hanon's exercise. And if you've heard them, it's... and then going down. Again, they're nice. Nice, pleasing sequences or patterns that are repeated, and these are very pleasing exercises, but they get pretty boring. So what I've done is I've taken these and I've spruced them up with what I believe the way Bach would have done it. So now let's take this, instead of harmonizing it at the unison or octave, let's do this. Let's start here with the right hand, and we're going to start, we're going to harmonize it at E on the bottom. So it's C on the top, E on the bottom. So that's like a sixth between the notes, an octave and a sixth. So. That provides a really nice harmony for it. Now listen to what happens after you get up to the top. You get up to the top here. Now you're at the top. Now after it works its way down, I have a little transitional measure. And what the transitional measure does is it takes the main motif down to the bass. So now at the midway point, you'll see halfway through, right here in the midway point where the double lines are, the whole process will start again, but like Bach would have done, he's going to do the left hand first, or the left hand has the main motif and the right hand has the accompaniment. This time there's an interval of a third, or 2 octaves in a third, actually, literally. So if you have that, you're harmonizing it at a third above. So in short, I've rewritten these or arranged these first 20 Hanon exercises to start by going up an interval of a sixth, all the way down with a little transitional measure, and then it flips around and does the inversion and does it again, and then it ends. I also have repeat signs here, but they sound weird when they're repeated. They're not really, I don't think they're really made to be repeated necessarily, these ones. But now that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. This is really cool, because what I've done next is I've transposed these into C minor, and to do that I simply added 3 flats. So there are 3 main ways to practice these pieces, and this is one reason why they're great sight reading practice, because they're slightly different modes of reading, and you can do this all from just one page. So the first way is you read it in C major, and to do that you ignore the 3 flats and all of the accidentals. It's all white keys. So you're going to get Bach sounding like in a major key. The second way is you're going to play it in the natural minor. To play it in the natural minor, all you have to do is observe the 3 flats for C minor, but ignore all the extra accidentals in there. So you're going to play all the white keys as you would normally, but then you're just going to watch out and you're going to flat all the B, E's, and A's as you would in C minor. So you don't have to worry about accidentals. Now, the third way is the really interesting way. This is the melodic minor form. The melodic minor form uses various B naturals and A naturals, usually ascending, and usually some flats descending. It's a very interesting way of working with accidentals, and there are a lot of possibilities. So this is definitely not the only possibility for the accidentals. This is sort of a rough draft of a book I'm working on called Ultimate Hanon, or Hanon Ultimate. So I'll have that later, but so if you do these 3 ways of reading it, you'll discover that, wow, you've just done 3 modes: C major, C natural minor, and C melodic minor. Okay, so let me demonstrate this now with number 7. Again, number 7, C major. it's just a beautiful way of harmonizing everything in Hanon. It sounds sort of Bachian. Now it's going to really sound Bachian here. I'm going to play it now in the natural minor form. So I'm going to play it, I'm going to ignore all the accidentals, and I'm going to play all the 3 flats. So this is the key signature of E flat major, but the orientation is C minor. Natural minor. You can hear it's in natural minor. It's very, it's very, no jagged edges. Now, this is the interesting thing. Now with a few naturals, B naturals, and some A naturals in here too, you'll hear a totally different version of it now. You're going to hear what I just played, but it's like, it has some very interesting harmonies in there, and this is because it's in the melodic minor form. So let me do this now in the melodic minor. I even put a picardy third in there, ending with C major. So that's what it sounds like when you insert B naturals and A naturals. You know, there's a lot of possibilities. So there's, like I said before, this is a rough draft, so it might be slightly different when I publish my book. But just think, you get all these 20 exercises for free in this PDF. You can try them out. This is just fantastic. Now let me play one of my favorite ones of all, number 19. Number 19. Okay, so the main theme goes like this. I'll just play it as Hanon wrote it. And then going back, it's like that. Okay, so I'm going to take that motif and I'm going to transpose it in, or transform it into Bach. So first I'm going to play it in C major. So I'm going to play it and disregard all the flats and all the accidentals. C major. Nice exercise in reading. You'll find you'll really love these. You'll really love reading these. Now, I'm going to play it in the natural minor. Natural minor. All the flats and disregard all the accidentals. I chose 19 for one reason, because I love it so much, and there's a lot of accidentals here, a lot of sort of experimental type accidentals. Sounds a little wild and crazy when I get to the melodic minor, but the natural minor is fine. So let me go through the natural minor here. We have natural minor. You know, I really love this one, and because of the motif. The motif is just very. It really has a lot of potential to it. Now, and I accidentally put a natural in there. I don't know if you heard it. Now I'm going to play the melodic minor, and this is really cool. This is my favorite of all. And then I'm going to go through a passage and we'll discuss it. So here is number 19 in the melodic minor. Also, another thing, tempo. You can take these a lot slower than Hanon's originals. You have to go about half speed in order to really absorb all the music. So here we go. Really nice. Okay, now listen very carefully. I'm going to go through my favorite part of 19 is the descending line. I was experimenting a little bit with my half steps and things, and really this is a little more experimental, but I think you'll like it if you like chromaticism. So let's go through the number 19 starting in measure 8. Starting in measure 8, I'll play it slowly and we'll listen. First, let's play it with only the natural minor. Okay, so natural minor. That's just a transitional measure. Now I'm going to play the accidentals. Melodic minor. do the other one at the end here, the last 7 measures. I'm going to play first natural minor here. So this is flipped around. So up here in measure 8, it's, but in towards the end, it's. So now the right hand has the main melody, and so like that. Okay, now I'm going to do that in the melodic minor form. There's a lot of accidentals here, so listen carefully. It's really, you have to really play it slowly and listen carefully. The notes play with your ears. The notes play with your ears. But remember, this is not the only way to do it. So if you take offense with my daring chromaticism, then just play it in the natural minor. Don't worry about all the accidentals. But otherwise, these exercises are a fantastic way for you to experiment with your sight reading skills, reading in a major key and a natural minor key and a melodic minor key. It is fantastic, and this is all going to be included in my next book called Hanon Ultimate, or Ultimate Hanon. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to call it. Probably Hanon Ultimate. But now you're probably wondering, well, why just C major and C minor? Well, look, I did all 24 keys, major and minor keys in this book here, which, by the way, needs revising. So very soon, I'm going to be releasing a second edition of the Well-Tempered Hanon, because in the process of doing these, I've discovered different accidentals and things that I want to add. So you don't need to go out and buy this quite yet. If you don't have the Well-Tempered Hanon, wait until I have my second edition. Okay, if you already have it, that's fine. Even if you already have it, wait for my second edition, and I'll have corrections in there because I want it to be consistent with these I'm giving you right now. So Hanon arranged in the style of Bach. I mean, what could be more fun than that? You can practice your sight reading skills, you can practice your harmony skills. There's so much you can do with these wonderful, wonderful arrangements here. And I provided a little, just a short description, a short essay here, and some practice tips on how to practice these. So thank you for joining me today on this this nice adventure here with lots of minor keys and accidentals. And I wish you the best in your piano practice, and please return soon to the Bach Scholar channel and check all my recent videos.